217 Recovery Podcast. It is the 31st of October, 2019. It's Halloween. Only for a few more minutes, though. You might be listening to this. I'm sure it's going to be Friday, the 1st of November. So, hey, first of the month. Congratulations. You made it. And today, man, just doing the podcast solo. And it's probably a good thing because I kind of needed to use this as a therapy session to kind of process some things that happened today. And I'll start off by saying how my day started. It started with a message to 217 Recovery, the family page on Facebook, and a guy telling me about how he started a job, got a new job. He said it's a great company, great family-owned business, and there's a new guy that worked with him, and he had just started, and they had worked all morning, and then they went to lunch, or they didn't go to lunch together, but they took their lunch break. I think it's like a sales, maybe like a furniture store or something like that. And his coworker didn't come back from lunch, so they noticed the car was still there or whatever. And I don't know, they went looking for him and they found him like downstairs or something, like he had overdosed. And he said he still had a needle in his arm, and he tried to revive him, and he was blue. He said it really freaked him out, and they called 911. They came. They tried to revive him, and it was too late. So that's how I started my day, and that should have been like a warning of how today was going to go for me. And it was pretty intense. I went to a meeting. And I'm glad I did, because at the meeting it was said, and I heard this actually twice today, it was about listening and shutting up and listening to other people. And you would be surprised, how much you learn. And you can't learn anything from somebody else if you're the one talking. That was said again later on in the night for me. But that's kind of how I pretty much played out the rest of my day. Lots of drama, lots of situations that were created by other people, and you can't control what other people do. You can't control what other people say. The only thing you can control is your actions, and if you react to it or you act. And I was choosing today, thank God, how to act instead of react to a few situations that if I would have reacted a certain way, it could have made things a lot worse. And some people, and I guess it's not their fault, but that's sometimes all people know how to do is react. And when you react in a way normally that's not even necessary. And it's better to just, for my sanity and for my experiences, it's better to just kind of let some kind of things play out and realize, okay, what is my role in this? And what's the best course of action? That's why you see a lot of people, when they overreact, things get blown out of proportion. And maybe it could be in your family life. Maybe it can be in your work, where you've seen people blow things out of proportion. And that's kind of where that term comes from. But I don't know. I was kind of proud of the way I acted today. And it's been the last few days have been really kind of tough for me, and I really can't understand why. It started maybe last week with one of our podcasts. Ryan and I were talking, and I talked about how I needed a win. And maybe that's when I first started kind of feeling like, I don't want to say depressed, because I've been depressed before, and this really is, it's not nearly like that, but it started then, I think. And my mom reached out and she's like, what are you talking about? You need a win. Like, look at you. Like, you're just doing great, and it's got a new car, you got a job, you're doing wonderful. You're doing great things. 217 Recovery is just taking off. And it's just, what do you mean you need a win? Like, what kind of win would you want? And I kind of thought about that, and I thought, I do need a gratitude list, and I need to go through some of that during my day and just, be thankful for things. And for the most part, man, I'm really happy. I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I have the friends that I have in my life. I'm grateful that I have the family, and I'm grateful I got my kitty cat with me now. I mean, things are going great, man. They really are. But for some reason this last week, I've just been really, I don't even know how to explain it. Like I said, not really depressed, but I don't know. So this morning I was kind of laying here too, and after I read that stuff, and I was just thinking, man, like, that could have been me finding somebody, that could be my day. And I started processing the emotions and trying to figure out why I was feeling this kind of certain, almost depressed state. And I think it was a combination of jealousy and loneliness. And normally I'm not a jealous person, but I kind of been putting myself out there and allowing myself to be vulnerable. And maybe it's a situation that I shouldn't even be trying to seek out. And it's not like I sought it out, but it just kind of fell into place. And that caused a little loneliness, and it caused a little jealousy, where I could see maybe where the loneliness part would come in, but the jealousy part is something that I would like to say no right to feel, because it's not my place. I'm awarding myself feelings that should not be there, because I'm not even allowed to be at that place yet. If that makes any sense to you. I'm not sure if it does. It might not. Maybe you're just going, all right, Corey, let's talk about ghosts again, which I really wanted to do tonight. And Ryan was going to talk about his beer man costume. But like I said, I was kind of in a weird mood, and had been in a weird mood for the past few days. So I just kind of thought, maybe I should just use this as like a therapy session for myself to kind of talk about it, and to talk about it with you. And maybe you can relate. I don't know. Maybe you just think I'm crazy just talking about loneliness and jealousy, and I don't know. But those are feelings that, like I said, I don't feel often. So it was kind of weird, and that I would kind of think, oh, I'm feeling depressed. And I had a classmate ask me the other day at college. She was like, "What's wrong with you today?" And she sent a text, and she's like, "What's wrong?" She's like, "You seem so depressed. You look depressed." I don't know. I told her that. I was like, I don't know. She's like, "Why are you lying to me?" And I wrote her back and said, I don't think I am. I just don't. I don't know what's wrong. I'm trying to figure it out. And in my active addiction, of drinking, I would drink these things away, and I'm not doing that now, and I won't do that. It's just too good. Like I said, I do have great things going in my life, and I don't want to screw any of that up. But yeah, when other people get into the mix, though, like I said, you can't control what other people do. You can't control what other people say. The only thing you can do is better yourself and figure out when you need to shut up and listen, and when you need to act and try not to react. And I learned that my last time in treatment. It was very eye-opening. And just try, maybe today, just try to listen. And when someone's talking to you, just listen. Don't try to ramp it up in your head of how you're going to respond when they start talking about football or whatever. I mean, whatever it could be. Don't start thinking about your story or how you're going to contribute to this, because maybe that's not what they want. Maybe they just want you to just shut up and listen. You don't have to agree with them. You don't have to disagree with them. Just listen. Listen to what they're saying to you, and just take it in. And even take a minute to respond. Just look at them and acknowledge that you're listening, and actually listen. You'll be surprised how much you want to jump over what they're saying, because that's what we do. It's all about us. It's about what I have to say. Here's what I did. This is what happened to me. And you'll catch yourself a lot. Now, a lot of times you do want to get it out because it's a good story, but just save it. You'll have a time to tell somebody else. And it's a humbling feeling. It really is. You feel humbled. You're like, God, I didn't have to. I can let them be the big star of this conversation, and they'll respect that, and they'll respect you more too, and they'll realize, wow, they listen to me. So do that, and let me know how that goes for you. Seriously, try that. Just listen and see what happens. But it is going to be a short podcast. It is just me, but I promise we will come back and do the Halloween makeup day. And we'll probably just have to do that on Saturday. But yeah, we'll do Halloween makeup day. And because I really do have some more ghost stories that I have to tell you. And I know Ryan wants to tell he's made it such a huge, huge thing, his beer man story, or his beer costume, which, yeah, we'll see how great that story is. And maybe now I'm blowing it out of proportion, which I know I am. I'm kind of doing that intentionally, but we will be back Saturday. And, yeah, hopefully this was something you could take something away from. It really did help me kind of get some stuff off my chest and kind of realize, the jealousy and lonely thing. And I'll work on that. We'll let you know how it's going Saturday, but you work on the listening thing. Let me know how it goes. Thanks for listening, and share us with your friends. If you want to hear another podcast, maybe one that's a little more upbeat, has a little humor in it, maybe. I don't know. Check out some of the other podcasts. There's tons of them for you to listen to. So do that. There's resources too if you do need help. If you just want to reach out, we have the FAN, which is Families Against Narcotics, link on our resources page now too. So check that out. Maybe you can start that in your community. Of course, again, that's 217recovery.com. Talk to you Saturday.